Hi, welcome. So, this is going to be the Tuesday tune in reading. And if you watched, I think it was the week ahead. Yeah, and then some of Monday, I think we were getting the feeling that Tuesday tune in might be kind of long and deep and kind of maybe intense, but I kept feeling that today too, and I don't know why. I have no idea what's going to come through, and I certainly don't want to what do you call it? Self-fulfilling prophecy, tonight's reading, which is Monday night for Tuesday the 7th. And I just got home. It is 25 degrees outside in the Midwest, and I'm still a little wimp because we've had a pretty mild winter. I mean, I guess we're only a couple weeks into official winter, but then that road's kind of iced, and like all the plowing trucks were out, and it just sounded intense outside, them tearing up the roads, and us having to put down salt melt to I don't know. I don't like it. But I do like the stillness of winter, and that's what I was really looking forward to ever since summer. It was weird. At the end of summer, I was like, this is the first year I felt like I was looking forward to winter. And now I understand why. I knew it would be a time of deep reflection and quiet. And it absolutely is. And speaking of wimp, that's why I'm still wearing my hat, because my arms are hot, but my head is cold, and my fingers are cold from here to here. What is that? And so I have my emotional support Andes mints. They're the cookies kind that I put in my own stocking. Shh. I was supposed to disperse them across all the stockings, but I put 99% of them in my stocking, and then doot. But then I put all the other candy in their stockings, so it balances out. So anyway, where was I? Okay, so Tuesday tune-in. Yeah, so I just ask whatever message is supposed to come through, that I just get out of the way and it comes through. So we're gonna start with, what kind of reading do we want to do? What kind of spread? I probably should have meditated on this before hitting record, but it's already really late, and I've been up since 2:15 in the morning. So I'm really worried about my stamina. Actually, I'm not that worried, because it feels like once I'm in something, I just have endless energy. But then I really do have to get some sleep tonight. So, what kind of... I kind of feel like we want to do a Celtic cross. That's what I keep feeling. It gives us all the elements: past, potential future, subconscious, conscious, present day, overall energy, what's in the heart, other energies surrounding the situation, influencing it, hopes and fears, and then the likely outcome should we go through all the challenges presented. It's got it all. So Tuesday tune, and I feel like it's gonna be a long one. So we'll try to get through the basics, the base recording. I keep calling recording, reading for the general public, and then we'll go into an extended, I would imagine, which will be on my Patreon. So if we do that, if we end up doing it, there will be a link in the description that says extended, and it'll take you right there for the price of a cup of coffee. But no, go ahead and sign up for the Patreon too, just as a non-paying member, because I post a lot of random stuff there that I don't post on YouTube. And I don't know, I just feel like it's a cozy little community. YouTube's kind of I don't even know who's watching, and then Patreon's hey guys, let's be a community, or you can just watch from the sidelines but get a more personal kind of connection, maybe. So anyway, just ask Spirit, whatever's meant to come through for the greatest, highest good of everyone watching. That means you're supposed to be here, because these recordings These readings are timeless. They hit when they're supposed to hit, you know? So you might be watching it 10 years into the future. I might just be a little old lady somewhere in another country on a corner with the same deck all tattered and falling apart, being like, I used to be on YouTube. And other people will be like, what's YouTube? And they'll be on to some other technology in 10 years. Man, I'm going to age a lot in 10 years, apparently. Maybe we'll say 20. I get sidetracked a lot. Yeah, I just kind of like, I don't know. You know, like, I felt like I'm like smiling and a little lighthearted because I feel like this is maybe going to be deep. And it would be so funny if it wasn't, right? Because I don't know, some levity seems to want to come in to be like, it's all going to be okay. I like that word, levity. So Spirit, please help us just really anchor into your message in whatever way is for our best and highest good now and like wherever it leads us. Thank you. Yeah. That's not so bad, is it? For the current energy, we have the Eight of Pentacles. We're hard at work at something, aren't we? It's like we're persistent right now at something. And then the Five of Cups, a little grief, maybe a little sadness, maybe like dwelling on something. Who knows? I need more room on this desk. And you guys are saying, no, you need like less cards. And I'm like, no, I don't. You don't know me. Sorry. In the conscious energies, we have the Knight of Cups. Interesting. Well, let's see about this. We might have to clarify a little bit. Hopefully we have time to clarify if I just get on with it before going into the extended, at least just a little bit. In the recent past, or at least the way I like to see this is like energies that have gotten us to this point. They could be like super recent past. They could be actually as of this morning leading into this, you know. So it's like pretty of the moment usually. So Queen of Pentacles. We've been kind of maybe nurturing something, hard at work. But we have some grief and sadness that we might need to look at. Maybe that's the deep part of Tuesday Tune In. And then we have this kind of a gift of some like emotional, I don't know why I said currency, like emotional currency. What's that? Like, but there's a hesitation there, like I'm gonna stop, maybe tap into my intuition. So there's like a pause sort of feeling coming through here, like I'm ready. Is this a love reading? I never seem to get that coming through. We'll see. We'll see. The Hermit. That's interesting for the maybe potential immediate future, like going inward to seek our wisdom. Interesting. And then in our heart, we have the Seven of Wands. Why would that be in our heart? Like what we're feeling, like our true desire or longing. This feels like maybe a letting go energy of being on the defensive. Interesting. Or being like feeling persecuted or like attacked, or like something about feeling some hurt that we really are wanting to let go of. Interesting. Does it have to do with this? It might. Oh, weird. Five of Wands. Look at these wands. And then the surrounding energy is like some friendly rivalry, competition. That's kind of the general meaning of that card. But it seems like maybe there are lots of different options or things to consider. And maybe that's what this is, like maybe feeling like up against the wall about these things. I read these together, like 7 of Wands, 5 of Wands. And then the Knight of Pentacles, the hopes and fears. And the hope is like this, it's kind of like a fresh start. Ooh. But if there's a fear, it's like these knights are heavily armored. A little too defensive, maybe. Gosh, this one is intriguing. Okay, and then this is, oh wow, both of the kind of future positions here, like the potential outcome after we move through this is like seeking a higher wisdom, maybe beyond the self. Like we're really going inward. It's like an offering of prayer. But we also have this Hermit here in the, like a future, potential future, or a likely future. Whoa. So it's like, first we're like, like the, so let's just do the overall energy while we're here. The Fool. What? I'm so confused, and I love it. I love being confused. I don't understand anything. Like the Course in Miracles. I might need an emotional support. Chocolate. What I was gonna say is this Hermit, this going inward, is all about going inward to seek our own wisdom from our lived experience, you know. But this going inward is to seek a wisdom of a higher power beyond us, beyond ourselves. So it's almost like, what are we going through here that takes us out of our, like, that takes us into humility by the looks of it? There's like grief that we might have to move through, like first recognize. And like, oh, this wand energy is just like, when you think about just like always feeling attacked, this competition and rivalry, this feels like an internal struggle. This isn't other people. And we have a hope for a fresh start. And if we go inward, we can have a relationship with a higher power. What? Is this us working so hard in the physical? Like, I've had a good life. I've had a good life. I've worked hard. Wow. Like the Fool energy is just like, is this a spiritual awakening path? That is deep. Holy crap. That's like the deepest of the deep. What do we got some grief about? I think that's, sorry. I'm gonna need this piece of chocolate. It's endless cats around here. Shh. Okay. Sorry. Before we clarify, especially if we run a little out of time, I want to give everyone more clarification on the overall energy. Sorry, I did my little manicure today for body work, and my nails are especially short. I can't pick up anything. Wow, this is... I wondered why, like, for 3 days now, I kept thinking, like, or was it just one day now? What is today, Monday? It might have been just 24 hours. Feels like a long time, though. Feels like 3 days. That I've been feeling like Tuesday was going to reveal something pretty profound. I've said it in every video I've made since then. Have I made that many in 24 hours? On a roll. Spirit, can you help us clarify the Fool, please? Like, what is this overall energy all about? Is it the spiritual path? It's funny how I said, is this a love reading? Because of the cups in the sub and the conscious. And you know what? It could be a self-love. It could be the soul-searching kind of water energy there. Like that deep emotion you want to connect to. Spirit, please help us clarify the Fool. Thank you. You guys, I didn't even make this up. The Threshold. Oops. Would I have to go back because I can't remember what was said in what recording? We talked about, was this the week ahead? We talked about the hero's journey and crossing the threshold and like we're ready. Son of a bee. Beep. Okay, we're reading this one. It is profound. XLV. Another L, I swear. Here we go, one more page. The threshold. The door, the gate, the initiation. I just got chills. We cross thresholds continually, consciously and unconsciously. Doorways, gates, and entryways grace our path on a daily basis. Unconsciously, consciously. Look, they're like literally at a threshold here, the water, and they pause. They're like paused at the water. Same here. I can't make this stuff up. Or am I? When this card arises, it signifies that the precipice you stand upon is not your typical one. However, you have arrived at a threshold of initiation, here to usher you into a new reality. It requires you to leave behind the you that you thought was so well formed. Oh my God. A new frontier calls. This is not easy work. Threshold initiation means a part of you will be lost in order to make space for what is next. That's the best kind, but oh, it's hard. A metaphorical death must occur. Some may not recognize you. You may struggle to recognize yourself. The ground seems to crumble as you free fall. That's what this is. I was like, while I was reading that just now, I was like, funny how the death card didn't appear. And then I was like, you know, the Fool is kind of like that. And then it was like free fall. That's exactly what the Fool's about to do. Like, whee, I'm jumping off a cliff without looking where I'm going. You guys, that was right in my brains. Sorry, where was I? You may struggle to recognize yourself. The ground seems to crumble as you free fall into your new reality. This is the liminal realm. I love that. One step, dear friend. Just take that one necessary step toward the future that calls you. I've got so many friggin' chills. Like, oh, look at this. Take that one step. Just one step toward the future that calls you. I knew this was going to be such a profound one. And because we have the Fool card instead of the Death card, there is so much like transformative, hopeful energy in this. I feel it. The hard part is that you've worked on a pretty good life. That what did it say? It means a part of you. This is not easy work. Threshold initiation means a part of you will be lost in order to make space for what is next. You like those parts of yourself. That's why it's going to be hard. Like, why would I want to get rid of those? I think that's the hardest part. Like, when we do some soul searching or we have that dark night of the soul, it's like we know it's time to let the parts go that we haven't been happy with. We've just sort of like accepted them, ignored them, whatever. Oh, man. Not accepted, that was the right word. It's like we've distracted ourselves from looking directly at them. And then therefore, when the dark night happens, yeah, those are the ones we're going to let go. But if you've had a good life nurturing your life, you've worked hard, that'd be hard to let that go. For some like, you don't know what's next. Not when we're in free fall. When light, growth, individuation, ease in the liminal. Like it's, yes, that is a good thing. You know, that having ease in the liminal space, meaning that, where am I? I'm between things. And sometimes, like before and during the initial stages of that spiritual path, that awakening path, it can be hard to exist there. It's like you don't have a footing. You're not really grounded. And then to finally get to a place of like, I like that space, is a journey. When dark, resisting, that's what this is. Refusal to grow, barriers, boundaries. Those are the words. I couldn't quite put that in, the feeling of those into words. That's exactly what these are. Like, oh, look at this. Boundaries. Oh my God. It's in your heart portion of the reading, the placement. And it's like you really desire to have healthy boundaries, because the other energies that have been influencing you, there's like no boundaries here. Look, they're all up in each other's biz. We nailed it, finally, with the help of this sense. In Hindu mythology, Ganesh is the ultimate gatekeeper. Look to the great elephant god for support. Hecate, Janus, and Mention are also watching over you. Can I just tell you, I have a special love for Ganesh, or Ganesha, the remover of obstacles. In fact, that's what this is. Oh, upside down. That's my little tribute to Ganesha. I just love that energy of like, Ganesh is so like a free spirit, you know, not one of those dark and heavy Hindu gods, or like with like 1,000 eyeballs, or like tigers everywhere. Ganesh is like, I'm a little baby elephant, removing obstacles so you can have a better life. Like, it really is. And Bob Dylan's Standing in the Doorway. Oh, sorry, it says go deeper. Lie on the floor and listen to Bob Dylan's Standing in the Doorway. Oh, I told you I love Bob Dylan. I wish I could turn my camera so you could see him. I have a giant picture over there. Oh, it's getting warm in here. Crossing a threshold may not always be voluntary. Sometimes we are thrown across the boundary through circumstances far beyond our control. Either way, we cannot go back. We're not going back. We are not going back. Oh, so thirsty. You guys, this is... Can I just say, I think a lot of us are in this space right now, going into 2025. Everything I keep like consuming, you know, from sources I read, listen, watch, says like the number of people starting to awaken into their true nature, or awaken from the dream of separation. Like, it's exponentially growing right now. I think that's why we're getting this. It's like we knew 2025 was going to be a big deal for this. Even in the overall, oh my God, go back and watch the year ahead reading. Ooh, yeah. I don't know. This might have to be a multi-part. Like, I wish I had more desk space because I still gotta do Wednesday. But I feel like I want to do this one for days. I know you wouldn't probably have the patience for that. I get it. Or would you? Because it's a big deal. Okay, what are we curious about? I keep looking at these beauties. I think we're supposed to pull one. With these, I feel like it's more overall energy stuff. I mean, the Fool, the Threshold, those two are like a match made in heaven. What else can go with this? Like, how can we help building on this overall energy so we can get curious about where to clarify next? That's kind of what I'm feeling. Thank you. These are a little sticky, so I'm just going to give them a little. Thank you, Spirit. That felt pretty good. What is number 25? Oh my God, I had a dream about the number 25. We'll see if it relates. These look like two figures, like almost like maybe male, female, who knows, maybe not, but this kind of looks like it's supposed to be like really long hair or something, and really short hair. That's why I don't like to read gender, because I used to buzz my hair, and then people be like, you look like a dude. And I'm like, whatever. Anyway, this is the Solace Oracle. Solace Oracle or Solace, I think. I find solace in things. Yeah, Solace Oracle, number 25. I did have a dream about the number 25. It was crazy. Last breath. Ooh. Suffocation. A fleeting breath gone. Just like you. Is this the old you? The part of you we're letting go of? Whoa, that's deep. If this is like about another person, though. Can you love another person? See, I don't know. The way I feel about this, I'm just now getting to know this Oracle deck. So far, my feelings are love the artwork, love the little poems in the front. Oh, that's the wrong one. Love the little poems with the artwork. The description, I'm sorry. They don't really speak to me, and they have kind of some grammar issues, and that puts me off a little bit. I gotta get over that. Let's see if we can pull out some nuggets, because I don't think this is about a love interest. This is too deep for that. Can you love another person too much? Consider a situation where you actually end up pushing that special gift of love right out of your life because of your insecurity or fear. You might be holding on so tight that you start suffocating the relationship. It's not attractive, and it can bring on great heartbreak. Is this happening to you or someone dear to you? Look deep within the truth of this message. What is causing this problem? Jealousy or insecurity are lower vibrations, and they can pull couples down into destruction. If someone has something extraordinary, then they should simply cherish it. They need to lean on the strength of the relationship and the power of its existence. If it's meant to be, it will be. I'm sorry. Rookie move. I left my sounds on again. Stop texting. Try looking at it from a different angle and give space as needed. Time apart is healthy for couples, and it's okay to have a separate interests and hobbies. Importantly, you need to build trust in your relationship and give it freely. There shouldn't be relentless interrogations or nonstop questions, which only highlights insecure thoughts. Build trust and don't overprotect. If changes aren't made, love will be lost due to one's controlling and possessive behavior. Oh, it was all about a relationship. Now, if you feel like this is about a relationship and that resonates with you, take it. But I keep feeling like as I use these cards, even before today, I think what I'm going to start doing, sorry, author, is just look at the art, feel into it, read the poem, because I love poetry. I mean, these aren't like the best poems in the world, but they give you some feelings. Like when I read 25, last breath, suffocation, a fleeting breath gone, just like you. And I feel like that goes right along with this, with like, we are at, like I said, no going back, right? The last breath of who you've been, you're ready to release. Because you know there's something, there's this connection with your higher self, your higher, like something beyond you, not of this world, right? This is like going somewhere in prayer and surrender. So we're not going back, and there's like maybe some grief about putting that self you've been to rest, metaphorically. Definitely not literally. Don't even think about it. So anyway, what are we curious about? I do want to clarify a little bit of this. This is like, oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh my God. You know what? I love these so much, Wisdom of the Shadow, because I keep thinking like, what? Like this whole idea of when we are on, like, what shadow work are we being called to do as part of this? I feel like it's a spiritual awakening path. It's like, I keep getting that. It's like the journey of all journeys. So it's like the wisdom of the shadow kept calling like to me saying, you know there's going to be shadow work on a spiritual journey. Like, what maybe is one of the big themes that we're being called to look at? Like, what is all this grief and sadness really about? What is all this, like, boundary stuff, you know? Like, I didn't think that felt right. It says balance, but I'm going to do, I go by, like, the feel of the shuffle. I know that probably sounds weird to you, but I can just feel when something, and that one just felt not right. Maybe it's right for somebody. Dependency. We'll leave balance out in case one of you preferred that one and that spoke to you. Dependency is interesting because it's like, this kind of feels into that, and then like this energy kind of feels like that. I did not expect dependency to come. I figured something like boundaries would come. I mean, don't we all have boundary issues? Dependency is an interesting one. Creature of desire. Let me show you this up close. It's like trippy, a little, I can't ever do this, a little disturbing with the big mouth. There's like a flame in the heart center. She's like a mermaid woman with fiery stuff coming out of her face. I don't even know what's going on here. It's a curious one. I live in balanced relationship with my innate wholeness. I explore healthful independence and interdependence. Well, I guess it's related. I love when Spirit's like, You ding dong, you pulled that for a reason, even if it didn't feel 100% right. I live in balanced relationship with my innate wholeness. I explore healthful independence and interdependence. Holding on tightly to what is mine, grasping, speaking from distortion, intensity, demanding, attachment, substance, addiction, relationships, seeking wholeness, dependent, codependent, interdependent, independent. Oh my God. That which we tie ourselves to becomes interwoven into our sense of wholeness and worthiness. When we attach to something, we can tend to draw satisfaction or fulfillment from that very thing, whether it be people, relationships, the happiness of others, material items, ideas, thought patterns, being of service, phones, social media, praise, spiritual experiences, or a substance, drug, alcohol, food, sugar, etc. Dependency is not defined by an assessment of whether the person or thing to which we are attaching ourselves is inherently good or bad. In this work, we know nothing is that simple. Rather, the dependency is the inner pattern we are invited to look at, to see how we are sourcing our fulfillment, bliss, satisfaction, self-perception, and worth. Wow. When there is something external from which we are sourcing our fulfillment, we are giving our own power over to it. Yeah. Our dependence on that can also become a way for us to numb, check out, or bypass our own feelings and experiences. Everything's related. Like this whole spiritual bypassing thing I reflected on this morning. Again, too many videos, but and this whole like boundary thing is just like a common theme lately. Become aware of interactions that may be codependent. Invite yourself to look at your relationship with what you consume. Recognize addictive patterns in new ways. Explore hyper-independence and interdependence. With dependency, let us remember that we are greater than its hold on us. Contemplations. What am I dependent upon, attached to, or addicted to? When I am stressed, hurt, down, what do I lean towards? That is a big one to contemplate, because that creates that little bit of space between the feeling and then the doing of the distraction or whatever. And having a little bit of space helps you like reflect, create that space that you're able to act from, because we can only act from the now. Where do I source my fulfillment and satisfaction? Find ritual. Find a quiet, comfortable, safe space to sit. Allow the eyes to close. Breathe intentionally, watching the breath enter and exit the body through the nose. Bring your awareness to one thing that you feel dependent upon. Ask where it resides in your body. Feel the sensation in the body and dive deeper into it. Ask your vision and sight to travel through your body tissues into the energetic pattern underneath where it resides. I love this. Ask it to tell you more of its story without needing to change it. Receive wisdom, insight from it. Thank it for sharing with you. That's huge when you can talk and ask of yourself parts. Like, tell me your story. I'm not here to change you. I'm just here to listen. Things will emerge. If you like threaten to change it, it's going to be like hiding from you because it wants to persist. Oh, that was the end. Thank it for sharing with you. That's yeah, pretty huge. So reflect on those questions. Like, if you're not going to go into the extended, those are some tools. Reflect on that in the context of what we read here. And I think this is a good stopping point, and then we're going to go into the extended. But it does seem like you're ready to, let's put a bow on it for, the base foundation reading, that it does seem like you've had a pretty decent, like, adult life, let's say. You are ready to go seek your wisdom. Like, you're ready for this journey. You're ready to cross the threshold. You have some fool energy in you, obviously. And then there's this, you're ready to take your last breath as your current, like, dense self, like, of this body. right? You like, like what you've like pushed in the world, like ego push, that's the word, ego. You're ready to like, okay, ego, I still need you to get through my day to day, but you having the reins, that's last breath. Take your last breath, ego. We're putting you into the night time. And then this dependency is really calling us to ask those questions. Where do I turn to when, that's all like shadow work. When something's a little uncomfortable, where do I turn to? Like, what do I lean into? How do I distract myself? And the ritual is asking you to, in that pause that you create between feeling the discomfort and going toward your numbing distraction devices, in that space, feel into your body. Where is that discomfort? It's going to illuminate a lot. And you think it's going to be uncomfortable, but when you stop and look at the discomfort, it changes in some way that's very illuminating. I'm excited for you on this journey. I can't wait to go into the extended because there's a lot to clarify that's going to be super interesting. But I think for those of you who aren't going to the extended, you have a lot to work with here. I think there's definitely some boundary work that's going to come up for you when you go to seek your wisdom, when you go into the quiet, when you know you're ready to cross that threshold, put your ego, your like crazy ego part to rest. There's probably some boundaries, some dependency there. Like, that's the key word. What are you dependent on? Is it a person, or is it those like self-sabotaging behaviors? Are you ready to release those too? Feel into the body. And then there is, like, you're hoping for a fresh start, and it's coming. Like, this is the old way of doing things. And then see how it's pentacles, so it's of that same, but like it's a reemergence of a new way. And then you're going to have a connection with your higher self, with the self, your true authentic self, and the higher spirit self, and then spirit in general. This is epic. This is like Marvel Universe stuff. Like, I don't really know about that stuff, but my husband made me watch all 22 movies or something, like during COVID or something. He's like, and I was like, honey, I think I'm finally ready. I think I finally have the patience to sit through all your superhero movies. Don't get me wrong, that some of them I really like, but like, he just loves that stuff, and I love different stuff. And I like sci-fi and like Battlestar Galactica and a million things, but he really loves superhero movies. And I shouldn't say made me, I said I was ready. And so he put them in the order he thought I should watch them in. And some of them were really good. And I don't know. And guess what? I really love Deadpool. He makes me laugh. Is that Marvel? I don't know. I get them all mixed up. Like, what's Batman? Is Superman the same as... Yeah, I get them all mixed up what world they're in. But I do love when they cross worlds. Oh my God, you're crossing into a new world. That's why this was coming in. Like, this is like epic energy. You're kind of moving into the superhero version of yourself, where it's like for the greater good. Because, superheroes do stuff for the greater good. Even Deadpool. Oh, anyway, I hope some of this resonated, and that you can, if it did, give you some like tools for self-reflection. And I'd be really curious if, like, did it resonate, and in what way? If you're willing to share. Sometimes when we're like crossing the threshold, it's too soon. TMI, too soon. Like we're just a baby on this journey. So feel free to not share too. Anyway, I hope you have an excellent Tuesday. Even going inward, that can be like illuminating with your lantern. So oftentimes I say I'm going to say goodbye and then I don't. It's because I live in the Midwest. It's a real thing. It's called the Midwest goodbye. We like stand around and we say, oh, I better be going, or I don't want to keep ya. Like it's like you're doing them a favor. I don't want to keep you. And then you spend 10 more minutes talking, and then you get to another goodbye point, and then you do it again, and you do it again, and then an hour later you're like, oh man, I really gotta go. And then you do it again. I love the Midwest. It's great. Okay, gotta go bite.